Hey, 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 hey. I'm trying with headphones tonight. I hope you all can hear me. I hope you all can see me. Hello, hello, Kevin Simister. Hello, Chris Sarr. Please let me know that you can hear me okay. This is the first time using the headphones, but we're going for pristine audio tonight is the hope. And tonight's coffee is Columbia by Nespresso. Columbia. It's a double. I brewed myself a double tonight. So let me know if you can hear me okay. Hopefully you can. Get tonight's banner all set and ready to go for the show. Get the invite link all set and ready to go. Tonight's show is going to be dedicated to my buddy, my pal. Fucking cord. Robert Daniels, who has graciously allowed me to cancel tonight's original concept, which was the soundtrack show, in order to have Greg and Pat from Stormforce on tonight. Oh, good. You can hear me and you can see me. Well, then for Rob, I say this. I say Voivod. I've already showed you the coffee for tonight, which is the Columbia, a double. I've brewed myself a double, and because I like to have a cold beverage as well. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So, before we get started with tonight's show, I wanted to do just a little bit of show and tell. Give me a second. I'm just closing some stuff. I received some mail this week, and it was some good mail. First one was an Amazon order. I was talking to Michael from the band Russian Blue. He's a big Alice in Chains fan, and I realized, I've never owned Facelift on CD until now. I got to admit, this is probably my least favorite Alice in Chains album of all of them. I'm really partial to Dirt. I'm really partial to The Devil Put Dinosaurs Here. I'm not so partial to Facelift, although you got to have it, I suppose. I have all these tracks on the box set and the various greatest hits albums, but decided it was finally time to get Facelift in the collection. So still sealed, haven't opened it yet. That's from Amazon, but better than the Amazon. Better than the Amazon is the surprise Kevin Simister mail. Yes, that's right, the surprise Kevin Simister mail. I was a lucky beneficiary. This came about through a ZZ Top conversation. Long story short, anybody who knows the history of ZZ Top on CD knows that the first 7 albums, I believe it is, were not available on CD for the longest time until they were issued 6 of them were issued in a CD collection called the ZZ Top 6-pack. And for this collection, they remixed everything to make it sound more like the Eliminator era ZZ Top. So Kevin had this ZZ Top 6-pack and said, hey, I'm never going to listen to it. And I said, well, I'm kind of a collector. So if you want to get rid of it, let me know what you want for it. And he's like, nothing. And he sent it to me. The ZZ Top 6-pack, courtesy of Kevin Simister. So it's got ZZ Top's first album, Rio Grande Mud, Tres Hombres, Fandango, Tejas, and El Loco. The only one it's missing is Deguelo. So all of these have been remixed. I have very, very, very vague memories of some of these versions from the ZZ Top Greatest Hits collection, but I couldn't tell you how any of them sound now. The booklet's quite nice. I mean, this is in pristine shape, this set from Kevin. So thank you, Kevin, for this. It's going to be well enjoyed. I haven't listened to it yet because I kind of wanted this to be a CD reveal for Me as well. Yeah, so like I already have all the ZZ Top CDs in that really nice remastered box set with the bonus tracks, but I didn't have the ZZ Top remixes, the 6-pack. So I'm glad to take this off his hands. Really glad to take this off his hands. And yes, Rob, it is awesome. So that was one thing that Kevin sent me. There were a couple other things in the box. The Gandharvas, A Soap Bubble and Inertia, which is, I believe, their first album. It is the one with the First Day of Spring on it. And I've managed to go all this time without this album until now, thanks to Kevin. So I'm glad to own it. Oh, Deke is here. Deke is here. Deke is here. Deke is here.
Man. Bright and early.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm good. You?
Excellent.
Good.
You just caught me mid-reveal. We were just talking about the ZZ Top 6-pack.
Nice.
And now we were talking about the Gandharvas, which was also in the Kevin Sinister box.
Oh, yes. This is the unboxing.
Yeah, more of a reveal because I already unboxed them. So it's more of a reveal. But I don't know if you have this one or not, but it's got the First Day of Spring.
I can't remember. I bought one of their albums. How many did they put out?
3.
Not sure if I have that one. Was one more commercially huge, or is that the one?
That's pretty much the one. I quite like the third album. Yeah. Oh, and apparently that one's from Sarka. He has no idea what it is.
Attaboy, Kev.
Finally, from the Kevin Sinister box was the one that I'm actually kind of the most excited about because I've never seen it and never heard it, and am glad to have it in my collection. Aerosmith.
Oh, nice.
The Blind Man. It's a promo single.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell it's a promo single because there's no barcode on the back. So that's your hint. Although, it also says promotional copy not for sale. But this has 3 different mixes on it, including the LP version. But it has the harder mix and the softer mix. So I'm really eager to hear both of those. I didn't know they existed. And apparently Kevin's been trying to dump this on somebody for a while.
Actually, Blind Man's a great track.
Yeah, it is. It is.
No, it was. Yeah, that's the reason why I bought the greatest hits was basically, when they were all doing add 2 new tunes to the greatest hits.
Right. They did that one and Walk on Water.
Actually, that was another good. You know what? Actually, both those songs were good.
Yeah. I think for me personally, I am in the Walk on Water category. Because it's more of a rocker, but of course the blues of Blind Man. Yeah, that's a cool track.
That is a cool track. Yeah,
Aerosmith are at that point where they were just pumping, no pun intended, pumping out material.
They're pumping out millions, man.
Yeah.
Well, I remember going to see their Get a Grip tour in April of '93 in Minneapolis, and it was their 5th show. Okay. So fast forward to December of 1994, we're going to Minneapolis to see the Rolling Stones. And who was there a week before? Aerosmith, still on the Get a Grip tour. Holy crow. They got their mileage out of there, man. That's of that record, Get a Grip, that's for sure.
I think I need to correct Kevin here. Blind Man isn't on Beavis and Butthead. That's Deuces Are Wild.
Ah.
But I do need 3 versions of Blind Man, mainly because I didn't know. I had no idea there were 3 versions before. So that's news to me, and I'm absolutely thrilled to add that to my collection. The generosity of friends.
We should have seen Kev last night on Start to Continue. He basically plowed through his whole Alice Cooper collection.
Oh, crap. We'll have to catch the rerun of that one.
It was like he was pulling out Zipper Catches Skin. Was it one called Dada or something like that? Or?
Yes, those are kind of like the lost albums from the mid 80s. Zipper Catches Skin was about 82-ish, and Dada was about 83-ish.
Yeah. He was just rifling through these records. I was just like, holy shit, man! I called him Kevin Cooper.
Those are good. They have some good stuff on there.
That's what he was saying. Yeah.
Okay, so Kevin's confused. Maybe he doesn't like Blind Man. But that's okay. I'm happy. Sorry, Cooper. you know, he was going a little bit new wave-ish at that time, and trying out some new things, and he says that he doesn't even remember recording those albums.
Yeah. Well, we all remember what happened with the no-show in Toronto.
Yeah, the riot. I think that the anniversary of that was kind of making the rounds on Facebook a couple weeks ago.
And they had the cops on the horses, and
the
steel chairs were just being thrown like frisbees. Oh, man,
it's like wrestling.
Yeah, where Axl Rose got his early '90s motivation from was probably watching that Cooper.
Just to out riot Alice Cooper.
I gotta get that footage. You know, yeah.
So I noticed you're wearing the Sleaze Rocks shirt tonight.
Yeah, man, that's I had to, man. Olivier there, Sleaze Rocks. I submitted some stuff to him a few years ago, and he kind of remembered that. So about 6 months ago, he said, "Hey, dude, what's your address and what's your shirt size?" And I'm like, da da da. And then I forgot about it. And then, like when I sent you the pic there a few days ago in the mail,
that's cool. Yeah, that's cool.
Very, very nice of him. And you know, I could plug his. Yeah, he's a very good guy. Plug his site. It's worth doing. I might even make this kind of a regular thingamajigger prop for him because it's the least I can do. You know.
I really enjoy Sleaze Rocks. I don't. I actually read it more frequently than I do Brave Words or Blabbermouth. I read Sleaze Rocks before those two.
I follow him on all the social media, like Twitter and Facebook, and obviously his .com site. But he's a good guy, man. We shoot the shit about music. You know, I'll never forget when one of the first ones I sent to him was Ted Nugent, Little Miss Dangerous, and I said in the review, you know, it's not a very good. It's all the drums are all programmed and and maybe 3-4 songs on here. The rest of it's basically three-quarters filler. And I remember in the comments, I mean, people are just kind of like flaming me on that thing. There was some dude there I'll never forget. His Facebook picture was the Confederate flag with 2 shotguns across, and he was like, "This bonehead doesn't know what he's talking about." So you know what the best thing was I was on there as Deke, right?
Right.
So I commented to this guy under Derek Williamson saying, "Yeah, you're right. This guy does not know what he's talking about." The guy gave me the thumbs up.
That's funny.
I used to have an alias sometimes, buddy.
Yeah, that is good. That is very, very good.
Yeah.
I don't know who this Derek Williamson person is that you're talking about. I've never heard of him myself.
This deep guy doesn't know what he's talking about, this Ted Nugent album. So, you know, he just sucks. So I just kind of, I remember telling Olivier, "Hey, check out this." So anytime somebody slams me, I'm going to respond, but in my real name, and they'll agree with what I say. Yeah, that guy's a bonehead. He doesn't know how to write.
The weird thing is that it's hard to imagine what ground somebody's disagreeing with you on that album, because it's not, even Ted doesn't really praise it.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. You know, I didn't mind it because, I mean, Painkiller was on there. It's very good. So, you know.
Hey.
Oh.
We're working on it.
Okay, we just lost them, but we'll try again. We briefly had them. Had them.
Show's over. Thanks for
thanks for joining. Well, that's pretty cool. I hope that they can get their technical side of it worked out.
If not, we'll just sit here and interview ourselves.
Well, once more, I will thank my buddy Rob for letting me do this tonight, because we were originally going to be doing the soundtrack show tonight, but Rob has graciously allowed us to do this. Okay, here we go. I think there's Pat.
Hey,
hello.
That's it.
We can see you and we can hear you.
What's
up,
guys?
How are you doing tonight?
Is that full blast?
Yeah, I can maybe do that better. Hold on a second.
Bring it in.
Oh, I'm digging the British Steel shirt.
That good as gets. Thanks, Brian.
Yeah, you guys got it, man. Just in those
Bluetooth speaker. Can we borrow that or what?
We're using it.
Can you use something else in the meantime, or what?
Yeah, the light's not working.
I can't help you there.
Oh,
Sorry, guys.
Quite all right. I can hear you and see you.
Yeah, we're having. I can barely. We got Brian in here
Oh
too.
my God! There's 3 storm forces.
He's here for comic relief.
How's it going, fellas?
Well, that's good.
Good, man.
I didn't prepare any questions for him, but we can wing it.
Nah, don't sweat it. I'm good.
No
Awesome.
worries.
I'll chime in when he screws something up.
He's just a drummer.
Okay.
In a couple of minutes.
I'm making sure these things go down right.
I think our heads are
So I just want to, first of all, just thank you so much for spending Friday night doing this. It's new era, and we're all home on a Friday night. So that's kind of how this got started, and I'm glad to have you guys with us.
Our pleasure.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool.
Deke and I had been working on a bunch of questions from all kinds of parts of your careers. I don't know how much time you have to spend with us tonight, but
I got at least 5 minutes. You can.
Sweet. Okay.
Lots of time.
We got lots of beer. When the beer runs out, we'll let you know.
Perfect. You got the beer. I got the coffee. And maybe Deke, do you want to start us off, since you kind of put this little chat together?
Yeah, sure. Basically got to know Greg a few years ago when I was starting to do the top 10 questions kind of thing with my blog site, just to shake things up. And I reached out to him and Brent Jensen and Sean Kelly, and all 3 guys got back to me. And so after that, I kind of would, shoot Greg the odd message, "Hey pal, how's it going?" And then he obviously told me about the new band he was putting together with Storm Force, and it just kind of went from there. And then of course, Brighton Rock released End of Time song at the beginning of 2019. So I reached out to him again, and he gave me some inside info on that song, how it was created and stuff like that. So we just kind of stayed in touch. So yeah, about 3 weeks ago or 2 weeks ago, I reached out to him saying, "Hey, you know what? We're doing this video stream, and we like kind of up our game a bit. Just wondering if you would come on and just kind of help us along.
Our pleasure.
Some questions, and of course,
The plugs aren't working.
Okay, don't worry. Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Quite all right.
It's okay. My daughter's here having a big party and kind of.
Quite all right.
Don't mind us.
So I obviously really appreciate you getting back to me, because obviously we all know that Gerald passed away last week, and we're all gutted. I mean, it was a real shock to the system, and you could see how much the guy was loved by the tributes on Facebook, obviously by yourself. Patrick, I saw wrote something nice about Gerald. Like a bunch of people. Brian Vollmer, really wrote a nice piece about how Jerry was the stand-up guy who would take him down with his CDs to get distributed and would pay him on the spot when cash was tight. And it gave me an understanding of what a huge loss it is. So really appreciate you getting back to me yesterday saying, "Hey, are we on for today?" So because it was, I'm sure it's not easy time for you right now. So thank you, my friend.
It's my pleasure. You know what? I was going to postpone it, but I kind of need this. It's it's going on a couple of weeks now, and it's tough, man. I got to admit that. But it's the worst thing is for his wife and his kids.
Yeah, for sure.
It's but I don't know. I need this. Talking about music and stuff like that, kind of just listening to music and talking about music. It's what it's all about. So you know. And,
talking about Jerry, I just want to say one thing. My gateway to Brighton Rock really was Jerry's voice. I first heard "We Came to Rock" when I was in the 10th grade. And of course, you get to that part of the song where he just lets it rip. And I was like, holy shit. And yes, we can swear. Holy shit. Like, this guy's voice is like, I'd never heard anybody scream like that before. So, next time the video was on, I hit record on the VCR, and a buddy of mine bought the first 2 albums on cassette. So I had to get them immediately afterwards. And I took Young, Wild, and Free to school. And I played a song for one of my classmates. I said, "You got to hear this guy's voice." And I chose the Rock and Roll Kid.
Yeah, that's the one.
And that kid, he's like, "Holy crap, this is too much. This is too much." And I was like, perfect. So, that's kind of like my Jerry story, is that he was the singer that scared my classmates. That's how awesome the screaming was. And,
He had the pipes. I mean,
Yeah.
not too many people in Canada can sing like that. If you really, I mean, worldwide. But can you think of other people in Canada that has that kind of power?
No. If you want to count Sebastian Bach, I'd put him up there, but
Right.
that's one guy.
He was at our first video. He was 18 years old. His future wife, like if you remember the first video when we is it no Can't Wait for the Night. Can't Wait for the Night. Can't Wait for the Night. There's a girl, she's portraying a ghost.
Yes.
Okay, that's Sebastian's wife.
Wow.
That's who he was. That was his girlfriend at the time, and that's who became his wife, and that's who he had children with.
Wow.
And he was at the video for the whole, but he was 18 years old back then. That's when he had the big spiky hair, and he was in a band at the time. I think it was called Kid Wicked or something like that.
Kid Wicked, yep, with
Yeah.
2 Ks.
And we were off the road one time, and they were playing in St. Catharines, which is close to here, a place called the Welland House. And one of our stage guys, Danny Melanson, because we were off, he went with those guys. And hey, Fraser, come on down, man. You gotta check these guys out. So I go down there, and Sebastian, we already had our record out, worldwide record deal. He's looking for a deal, right? So he's all over me, man. Like, oh, who do I die? Just so eager, just pumped, and I never forget that. It's like, man, this he wants it, man. And sure enough, next thing you know, he's on the cover of Rolling Stone magazine.
You did okay.
Yeah,
Did okay.
Yeah, he did okay. That's right. Well, another guy that's got a strong set of pipes is the guy sitting right next to you, Fraser.
Oh, Brian?
Actually, I have a question for Pat. If you have any, I'm not a singer, but man, I like to let it rip in the car. Do you have any trade secrets for how to do what you do?
Well, I think it's like, for me, it's abuse. Like, I really like, it sounds crazy, but the more I sing, the better I sing. I get on a road trip and, first couple nights, it's a little rough. And then you just got to keep on. It's like a muscle. I keep on working on it. If I can't hit that note, figure out how to breathe before I hit it. Just keep on working and working hard, and you'll eventually get it if you're lucky.
It's not as easy as he makes it sound, because a lot of people, like even Jerry McGee, he never took any lessons. He never trained. He never warmed up before he went on stage. Have a couple of cigarettes and a couple of beers, whatever. Everything you're not supposed to do. So guys like that, it's almost like they got a gift. You know what I mean? Like what Pat can do on his voice, I can train all I want. I'll never be able to sing what he can sing. It's just the way it is. You know what I mean? It's just luck of the draw, man. I mean, and the fact that Pat's been singing for so long, different genres of music instead of just one style. He'll sing Van Morrison. He'll sing, Tiny Tim. He'll sing Neil Diamond. He'll sing whatever you want.
Cool.
You love Tiny Tim. Come on.
Go through the tulips.
See? Right off the top. It just rolled off his tongue there.
No, he's right. Obviously you have to have some natural gift, but for me, if you have the gift, it's the work. I like working my voice, just singing all the time.
Well, so in other words, there is no magic bullet. It's work. It's practice. It's work.
Yeah, it's unfortunately it's not like guitar. I'm not criticizing guitar, but guitar, if you have some natural ability, you just work at it, you'll eventually get there. If you can't sing, you probably won't be able to ever.
Okay, well, I'm out.
Let me see.
Yeah. Deke, you want to go ahead and ask one?
Are we gonna go Stoneforce, or are we gonna go into Brighton, or what do you want to do here?
Whatever you want.
Wing it.
All right. Well, let's go. Let's start with the current, the Stoneforce, and everything I see about it online is rave reviews. And kudos to you guys. You guys, I mean, if we were to go back in a time machine, man, Age of Fear would be at least double platinum by now, man. I mean, it's so good. I mean, just not saying that. Truly, it's one of the best melodic hard rock records. There we go.
Get a copy,
Thanks.
Everybody. Get a copy.
That I've heard this year.
Wow, appreciate that.
And you guys dropped it right in January, right before
Right before the world went to shit.
Right before the shit show.
right.
Perfect.
What an
We'll see what's coming,
appropriate,
huh?
Yeah, what an appropriate titled album. Age of
Yeah.
Fear.
I know, isn't it?
Yeah.
Even some of the lyrics.
I'm like Schwarmy. I figure out what the future's gonna hold.
Yeah, but you know the thing is, it's so well done. Like the songs, the production, which I think was at Brian's place, right?
That's right. Come on in there, Brian.
Yeah. So,
He's waiting for that. He's going right on.
Oh, Sticks shirt. Sticks. Yes.
You want to talk to me now?
yeah, like well done. Like your guys' performances are totally solid. I mean, you guys are a killer act, man. It's just kind of bummed you can't take it on the road right now, but you know, top notch stuff down. Like,
I agree more.
you know, I don't know.
A big part of the sound, though, is Brian here. We did it in the studio, and he's a really well-known sound technician around this area.
It cost me another $5, isn't it? Keep it coming. All the good things I got to get said.
Yeah, like speaking of COVID, like he was. We get some pretty big acts at the casinos around here, and he was just ready to do Alice Cooper. He was going to do the sound for Alice Cooper.
2 days out of Alice Cooper, we had to cancel everything.
And they canceled everything. So he knows his way around the mixing board really, really well. So
Well, that's what he thinks. I just turn a bunch of knobs until it sounds okay.
I know. I know. I've missed Sticks at the casino a couple of times. You ever done sound for Sticks?
There you are.
Yeah.
That was from the last show they were there.
There you go. Yeah.
He did Sticks. He does Eddie Money. He did all the big ones.
Oh wow. Rest in peace, Eddie Money.
Yeah. You can hear it in the sonics on the album.
Yeah.
You know, it sounds like worldwide, and you can see why people like even that are pals of ours in the blog sphere. You know, from Sweden, Australia, States, obviously Canada, raving about the record. I mean, like, why the fuck wouldn't you not rave about it? I mean, it's such a good slab of hard rock and
Canadian too.
Yeah.
Canadian, 110% Canuck. So yeah, such a great.
Half of having a good sounding record is making sure you have good sounding players, and these guys knock it out of the park, easy peasy every time. They made my gig super simple.
Yeah, well,
Aside from playing drums, but as engineering the record, they made it real easy.
Am I gonna give you money now?
No, not yet.
Not to mention it was mixed by Darius Chespagnac.
Yes.
Yes, and I'm glad you had to pronounce it instead of me because I was just
Yeah,
going to
I
call him
want
Darius.
Right, you know.
You don't want to pronounce it, so thank
No.
you.
I was just going to say Darius.
Well, that's the thing. I go, why don't you be like Bono and Cher? You know, just be Darius, produced by Darius. What do you
Sounds
got to
great.
put this Polish name that you know everybody's going to butcher?
You know, some of the greatest.
It's just Spagnac. No, you didn't say it. I said, oh my God.
But there is a tradition for that, like Chris Sangarides with the TS. You know, that's a classic one right there.
Yeah.
It took me 20 years to learn how to say that one.
Yeah, for sure.
If I could ask you guys a question, you were talking earlier about COVID and whatnot. I couldn't help but notice that some of these lyrics are eerily applicable to today. Stuff like "Breathe." You know, we're talking about mental health, which is so important right now. Like, obviously, this is just coincidence, but have you guys been hearing feedback about the lyrics?
A little bit, yeah, for sure, absolutely. Got a couple of the reviews mentioned certain lines in the songs, you know, as especially "Age of Fear," obviously being completely applicable to what's going on.
And it's funny because when the record company was talking about what we want to do, I said personally, I'd like, because what do you want to call the album? I said, well, is it any chance we can just call it Storm Force? You know, like Van Halen,
right?
Boston, right? And then he goes, you know what? I really like Age of Fear. Like the world's becoming, Age of Fear. I go, all right, if you feel that strong. And next thing you know, the whole world's in fear now, walking around with masks and don't come near me. And it's like, oh my God. And yeah, it's pretty strange. You know, who knew, man?
Yeah. Well, obviously, you guys apparently. Like this album comes out, next thing you know, we're living in the age of fear. I think you guys knew something.
You guys are prophets.
But well done on the lyrics is kind of my roundabout point here. I was really impressed when I played the album the first time, and just when I played it again yesterday, I'm listening to the words, and there's a lot of depth there. And kudos on the lyrics.
Hey, thanks a lot. I appreciate it. No, Greg would always kind of, give me send me the melody and the music and kind of go, just come up with something for this. And he sometimes will get the title, sometimes not, and just come up with what comes to mind.
I always have a working title, because like what happens, you'll get, say you got like 30 or 40 song ideas, and then you're looking at, say you got them on your computer, just say 1, 2, 3. Okay, what was that one? So I'll just make up a title, any title, just so I'll remember which song is which, and then I'll give that to Pat. This is called whatever, And then sometimes he'll use the actual title. He goes, I actually like that title you got. All right, whatever, man. But like the song "Breathe" you mentioned, that was originally called "Ring of Steel."
Right, I read that somewhere.
Yeah, and then Pat goes, I like "Breathe" better. I went, whatever, man. Knock yourself out. Whatever, whatever floats your boat.
Yeah. It all worked, and got to give some kudos down to Mike, your bass player, as well.
He's supposed to be here too, but he's probably drunk in a ditch somewhere. Knowing my bass players. No, yeah, he just sent his apologies. He can't make it. And,
that's all good.
But
no problem.
Another virtuoso bass player. I mean, the guy's phenomenal, man. Oh,
yes.
And we're lucky to have him. And to top it off,
He can make good pizza.
Oh, who knew?
He makes great pizza.
Well, better than that, man. What's the odds?
That makes the day go better.
We can have a tone,
So have you guys been writing during lockdown?
I constantly write anyways, but a little bit more than usual, and not completed songs, lots of ideas. You know what I mean? Just I got when I'm driving around, I got a lot of vocal melodies, and that's a lot of the songs are written with the melodies first, which is kind of backwards. A lot of times, a lot of songs are written with a guitar riff. Hey man, I got this riff, and they'll build around that. But a lot of times, I'm just driving. I got these melodies, and I'll have something like that. And I'll say, Pat, what do you think of that? And then he'll write words to that melody right there. So I'll have sometimes complete songs of just vocal melodies. I got tons of that. And then guitar stuff, and Pat, he writes the odd words and
the odd words.
The odd words.
Just
Literally every other word.
No normal words, just odd words.
Just the odd words.
We have a viewer question. Dar Erickson wants to know what kind of pizza.
What was it?
Oh, it was pepperoni. What was it? It was just pepperoni.
I think it was just a pepperoni pizza.
But he makes homemade.
Yeah.
Simply the best.
He makes the dough and everything.
Holy, it's delicious.
Yeah. And he makes great spaghetti sauce and all this. Pure Italian, man.
Fantastic. Fellow Italian right here. So that's awesome.
Yeah. You play with the cement.
Sometimes. I got to redo the fireplace next weekend.
I'll tell you guys, when I pre-ordered Age of Fear on iTunes.
Oh yeah.
When that album, and then when it was released, it goes like right straight to your iPhone and your iPod and stuff. And when I got through Age of Fear, the second song in, I pushed stop and went back and listened to that song, and that is such a killer tune, man. Praise. You guys just knock it right out of the park. All four of you guys. The solo is amazing. Pat, your vocal on it, I mean, it's so killer. I mean, and then I shot Brent Jensen a message, and first thing he says, he goes, it's awesome. He goes, Patrick can wail. He goes, my favorite tune is Martial Law. And I'm thinking, oh crap, that's down. I got to get to that.
I'm not even there yet.
Yeah, it's like, but you know what? Yeah, that's just, to me, that's like an impact moment, like just of hearing a song for the first time and going, okay, now I got to get into track 3 and, move on. But that and Dirty Vegas, I just love that hard rock style that you guys just took from the 80s and just.
It's not complicated riff rock, right?
No.
It's something that's just easy to remember and you can just pop your head to it like an AC/DC tune.
Hooks.
Yeah.
But yet you guys do incorporate a little bit of complexity. Deke was talking about the first track, and one of the first things that I noticed about it is you got that neat little sci-fi keyboardy opening, and that's one of my favorite parts of the album actually, and it's kind of out of nowhere, and also kind of fits that whole Age of Fear, vibe.
That's to take you guys out to the stage, right?
Yeah,
yes.
I don't know if you guys remember Gatto back in the day.
Anna Panacana.
Anna Panacana. It was their intro before they did the song "So Walk On." That was their intro every time. It's a big
symphony.
Symphony orchestra, and it just builds all this tension. And when I was like 17, 18, 19, we'd go watch them and stuff like that. And you could feel like you start getting goosebumps. It's like, oh my God,
Here they come.
Here they come. The tension.
The smoke's coming out.
Yeah, it's building and building. And that's what we kind of wanted for this. We want something to build, and then kaboom, the band gets in. So it's funny that you picked up on a couple of songs because it's fun for us to the different people that have bought the record, like to hear what songs are their favorites. It's great because I think the guy actually goes, man, that song "Different Roads" is the best song ever, and it's like, well, okay, okay, thank you.
What floats your boat?
You know what I mean? And there's certain songs, it's fun, like everybody has their own little favorites. So.
Oh yeah.
My favorites have been changing through the last, since January, different ones all the time.
That's a good problem. That's what makes gold singles.
Yeah, those are the best albums.
Yeah, so I got a question for each of you guys. And I'm going to have to start with Greg because he'll probably figure mine out pretty quick where I'm going with. But I want both Patrick and Brian's input as well. Phrase, I got a date here and I want you to tell me what it is. September. Now I'm going by the internet, so it could be wrong. Okay.
He's been doing his research, man.
September 8th, 1978.
Okay. Is that Van Halen?
No. Bingo.
Yeah, sure.
Van Halen opened for Black Sabbath, Niagara Falls Convention Center.
I did my homework.
Yeah, man.
I saw that earlier.
That show was unbelievable.
Okay.
That's when Van Halen first came out, so that's their first tour, and they were hungry, man. They were out there to make a statement. They didn't have MTV back then. They weren't really getting played on the radio very much. Because I live in a border town here in Niagara Falls, we were lucky enough to hear them in 97 Rock out of Buffalo. Canada wasn't touching them yet, so I was well aware of them, but nobody else was. And when they came to, I think it was Niagara Falls, New York, Convention Center, and the opening for Sabbath, that was Black Sabbath's last tour before Ozzy got fired.
Right, yeah.
And Van Halen just crushed. Oh, my God. I was like 16, 17 years old at the time.
Like changing art.
And I'm like, oh my God, this is unbelievable. And then Sabbath comes on. They're more doom and gloom, and they're like low energy. They don't move around at all. They plant their feet and they don't move.
Yeah.
And it was kind of a letdown. We left halfway through the show. It's like, well, have I seen enough of you? Yeah,
oh, man.
Wow.
This is crazy.
Dude, Van Halen would just, when they came off stage, you're like, holy, what did I just see, right? And then Sabbath comes on. Put it this way, remember how Ozzy always stood center stage, and then you had Tony Iommi and Geezer Butler.
Yeah.
For that show, he was so coked out and drunk, whatever. Tony Iommi was center stage, and Ozzy was stage left. And as soon as Tony would start going in any guitar lead, Ozzy would leave the stage every single time.
Oh, wow.
So he's probably, doing the rails or whatever. And there's plenty of times where he's finishing the lead going like, okay, like, anytime he comes back out. Yeah, man.
Is he done?
Yeah.
So
and sure enough, at the end of that tour, Ozzy was fired. He was gone. So
yeah. Greg, so you went in that very first show to see Van Halen as a fan already?
Oh yeah. As soon as the very first time Eruption and You Really Got Me came out, like I said, we get the Buffalo radio, so we heard it right away. It took about a year before Canada to catch on to it. Oh, yeah, I was a fanatic, 16 years old. I started playing guitar when I was about 11, 12 years old. So I was already playing in bars. Like I quit high school when I was 16. So I was already playing bars on tour and stuff, but I'd never seen anything like that. Wow. He comes out, it's like, holy Jesus, man. Unbelievable. Like just jaw-dropping. And I can't really, I seen Randy Rhoads when he was with Ozzy. He was really good too, but nothing like Van Halen at their first, man. They were just on fire. Holy. David doing the splits off the drum riser and just, man.
Now, when I did research for that show, I went on to Setlist. And did they actually do a bass, drum, and guitar solo in their opening set, which is listed? Do you recall?
Little ones, yeah. And they actually did the, was it Bottoms Up? They did one song off the second record. And I think it might have been Bottoms Up. Yeah. Well, Eddie's got to do a solo, that's for sure.
Yeah. And
Alex did a little bit of a solo. They didn't have, I don't think they even played an hour. It might have been like 40, 45 minutes. So you had to cram it in. And then Michael did a little bass solo and get the Jack Daniels.
Yeah.
I'll drink to that.
Yeah. But yeah, man. I mean, Roth was just, Roth is the ultimate front man. You know, at the time, just you couldn't touch the guy, man.
No.
Just charisma, like overload. You know.
Yeah.
You know, being from Canada, you don't really see people from Canada a lot more self-conscious about showboating and stuff like that. And,
Yeah.
you know, but that really taught me a lot. And then, you know, when I started trying to form my own original bands, I wanted that energy and stuff because nobody in Canada was doing it. So, you know, gradually I was trying to get something like that with the Brighton Rock thing. But man, I'll never forget that concert as long as I live. It was unreal.
So how about you, Brian? Your Impact show?
My first Impact show?
Yeah, that you would say.
Alice Cooper. It was funny enough.
Village People.
Yeah, the Village People. No, it was Alice Cooper. Welcome to my Nightmare Tour.
Wow.
I was a young lad, and my cousin took me, and I was just like, "Are you kidding me?" Like everything that was going on, I couldn't even fathom what was happening. And of course, Kiss, but that wasn't until after.
Yeah, well, welcome to my
Have you guys
nightmare.
seen Alice Cooper before? Have you seen Alice Cooper?
I've seen him twice. One of the best shows that I've ever seen in my life was actually Helix opening for Alice Cooper at the Center in the Square here in Kitchener. It was a fantastic. That was only 2006, and it was an awesome show. Brian Vollmer is one of the best frontmen I've ever seen, actually, for just pure energy. And I was like, I guess the only Helix fan in the first two rows, and I'm singing along to every single track, including the brand new one. And what I really appreciated was that Brian came down and shook my hand right in the middle of one of the songs, and I'm like, wow, that's appreciation. That's just and another time I went to see Vollmer with Helix, he was greeting people at the door. You know, and he's like, he walks up to me and he goes, sorry, I got a lot of people to talk to tonight, but thanks for coming to the show. And he doesn't know me from Adam.
Right. And
I was just like, man, that's a cool guy.
Yeah, man.
So there you go, Deke. You didn't ask me, but there's two of my Impact shows right there.
There you go.
Oh, good. Patrick?
Oh, shit. I'm just trying to think while you guys are talking. There's so many.
You had all this time to think of an answer.
I mean, geez, I saw the Who on their final tour. I saw
which final tour?
82. So actually, probably one of the biggest impacts. Maybe I think Crew, because I used to go to an arcade when I was a kid, and they played the Live Wire video. They had the video screen up. They played MTV. They had MTV on satellite, and they were playing Live Wire. And I'm like, fuck, who's this band? So I started listening to the first album, Too Fast, and I loved it. And then when Show of the Devil came out, I saw them open for Ozzy on the Bark at the Moon tour.
Wow.
And I've seen tons of opening bands, and they usually, they just don't make the impact where Crew looked like a headliner.
Yeah. I've seen that tour too.
They just looked like they owned the stage. It was like, holy fuck, who's gonna do better than this? Crew was definitely one of those ones that blew me away.
I think Mickey Six, he's probably my favorite visual bass player. You know what I mean? He's just got that swagger on stage. He kicks ass, man. You know, a lot of people criticize his actual bass playing, but I don't know, man. He delivers the goods live. I mean, I'd rather go see somebody like that than some stip up there that can, play circles around that you can't even look at the guy, right? It's all about entertaining, man.
Can't look at you.
It's okay. It's only the bassist.
Yeah, I remember catching the Crew on the Dr. Feelgood tour, and the best thing I can say about that show is they played their full 90-minute set, just all their rock stuff, and the encore they came out and did Home Sweet Home and Don't Go Away Mad. And that was like when they were playing their set, me and my buddy T-Bone, we were going, holy man, it's red hot. Then it's Live Wire. It's Looks That Kill. Too Young to Fall in Love. It's it's just Shout at the Devil. Like, my buddy's going, no ballads.
Yeah, I saw that tour too. I saw every tour from Show of the Devil to Dr. Feelgood.
Yeah, and and I think Tesla was opening that show. It was a good double bill.
And that is a good double bill.
Another good band.
Yeah, so that would probably be, to me that's the Crew's farewell tour. That was the last time I seen them. And
Can I segue from there, Deke? I have a jumping off point from something you said.
Sure.
The fact that the Crew played, only their rockers and not their ballads. I was rereading an old Brighton Rock interview from the Love Machine era. and everything was getting heavier in rock around 1991. And you guys kind of transitioned a bit. You slimmed down to a 4-piece and added a second guitar player live. And I'm just wondering, with the benefit of 30 years of hindsight, was Love Machine sort of like the ultimate representation of Brighton rock at that time?
At that time, yeah. I mean,
at that time.
Yeah.
Where your heads were at that time.
Yeah. We, especially Jerry, really wanted to get rid of the keyboards. Like, a big thing, a lot of people, when they come and see us live, is like, man, you guys are a lot more heavy live than you are on the record. And you hear that with lots of bands, right? And they used to frustrate Jerry a lot. And our second record, which is our biggest selling record, the song has One More Try and Hanging High and Dry. Some people love the production on it. It's one of those records you can crank up and it doesn't get all distorted. But some people think it might be a little too polished and the edges are wiped clean off of it. And so Jerry kind of felt like, it's a little too smooth. He wanted more of like an AC/DC Highway to Hell, more balls to the walls. And so that's what we're looking for the next record. And a big part of that was keyboards. So,
I definitely hear some Van Halen on that third record too.
Oh, I'm sure it steeps in every once in a while. He's Eddie's the man,
Hollywood Shuffle.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's got a little of the Van Halen groove. Sure. Get the hot t-shirt.
I was putting my notes together yesterday. I pulled up on YouTube, loaded up a bunch of Brighton rock videos.
Right.
And Hollywood Shuffle came on, and you're doing like the Kane Roberts thing back then. You're like right in the buff, man. You're just rocking that Lado. Like, no, man. Where's the block?
Kane Roberts. Isn't that the guy that played with the Alice Cooper?
Yeah, the muscle guy. The guy with no shirt.
I don't look like that guy. Come on. That guy's like a Rambo dude. He's all steroided up. Come on.
Rock.
One thing about this album that I want to mention, and it took me 30 damn years to find the song basically, but Gang Bang. It wasn't on. This is the remaster with the bonus track, and it wasn't on the original. And I remember in that Meat Magazine interview, Jerry was saying something like the Canadian record company didn't want it.
It got banned.
But at the same time, they released Get the Fuck Out by Skid Row. Just kind of hard.
Well,
but it's one of the best songs. It's a great song.
Yeah. Because we're signed to a Canadian record label, let's face it, Canada's a lot, especially back then, it's a lot more safe. They don't take the risks. If you think about it, like, what bands out of Canada that were really pushing the boundaries? I mean, maybe you can think of like Anvil and stuff like that, but like on the wider scale, there's no Motley Crue, there's no Van Halen, there's no Guns N' Roses, there's nobody, going, "Fuck you," from Canada, right?
No.
So, when they heard Gang Bang, it was like, whoa, it's like, come on, man, it's a fun song. Listen to the song. If you listen to the song, it's just fun, right?
It reminds me of like when you'd buy a Roth era Van Halen album and there'd be something completely out of left field because Roth was into every style of music, of course. So that's what it reminds me of. And when I got the album, I'm like, okay, so I haven't heard this song before. It's going to be a throwaway. And then I hear it. It's like, this is like they put in the kitchen sink on this thing.
Yeah, man. Well, yeah, we had a really killer horn section on that.
Yeah.
It almost had an Aerosmith kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Like,
have you ever heard the original version?
Didn't know there was such a thing.
Yeah, it's the Sensational Alex Harvey Band.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
All this time I thought it was an original. I really didn't know.
They're a band. I think they're from Scotland. But the guy's name's Alex Harvey, Sensational Alex Harvey Band. Now you watch that singer, okay, and you tell me Bon Scott didn't rip him off. That's all I gotta say.
Okay.
That was Bon Scott's idol.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah, man. He's just got, how Bon Scott's kind of got that sinister, like he's up to something, like he's sneaky, like he did something.
Like he's a problem child?
Yeah.
Well, he did break out of jail.
That's what Alex Harvey's like, big time, and he just looks like, oh, this guy's in trouble. Here comes some trouble, but very, very entertaining guy. So, I highly recommend checking that one out. And then you'll see, it's like, we did a pretty close version. It's not an original. No.
Well, I'm not disappointed at all. I mean, it's a brilliant track, and I'm glad that it finally got reissued.
So
But-
are we, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
And the second album, you were talking about the second album's your bestseller. I didn't know that either, but it's actually my favorite. I know what you mean about how it feels like the edges have been kind of blunted, but I think that there's almost like a progressive rock side to that album with the atmosphere of the keyboards. I love that album.
it's like I said, it's our most popular album, and it's
Wow.
sonically, it would sound good basically on any kind of stereo. Where when you're a lot more hard edged sounds, then you get certain stereos. They don't sound so good. It sounds too distorted, and so a lot more keyboards are a lot more upfront on that record. And but then again, we got more worldwide recognition from that.
Yeah.
Well, you guys were a little bit more crossing over with the keyboards and the guitars.
Yeah.
Rock music was changing its way, and there was the new wave music which was having a lot of keyboard stuff at the same time.
Man.
So it was actually a perfect crossover record for you guys.
Especially in Europe, like in the UK, they swallowed that record up, man. Like we went over there, we soloed the marquee, we did a whole sellout tour there, and they were rabid. Like, wow, this is crazy, and that's our first time going to Europe, and when you see people from different countries singing the words, it kind of freaks you out. It's like,
Cool.
how do you even know us? You know what I mean? Because there's no internet back then. It's just, and the radio over in the UK is not like here, where, lots of FM and AM. Back in the UK, it was like they had one radio station, and you'll hear, Neil Sedaka, and then you'll hear Helen Reddy, and then you might hear Led Zeppelin, and then you might hear whatever, so you don't really, the chance of hearing Brighton rock on the radio over there is pretty slim. So we were on some magazines, so the fact that we sold so many records over there is still astonishing to us. And we got a chance to go back there in 2012 and 2013. It was like, wow, it was crazy. Yeah, man.
Yeah, I've seen that footage from Firefest.
Firefest, yes.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. That unbelievable festival that was. And it went for 10 straight years. And it's just, we got lucky to play 2 in a row. Unbelievable, man.
Wow.
Yes, sounds good. Well, the one thing about you guys as a band with your 3 albums, each record, you guys had stellar producers.
Yeah.
Yep.
You had Michael Wagner on the first one, and then you had Jack Richardson on the second album, and then Toby Wright on Love Machine. I mean, that's you're going to get the sonics with those 3 guys, especially Michael Wagner at the time when your tape came out. I seen the name, and I knew the name because he was on the back cover of Accept Balls to the Walls.
That's right.
He was going to be bringing some serious sonics. So,
It's funny because at the time he was unknown. When he finished our record, then once he finished mixing, then Dock and Under Lock and Key came out. That was the first one that kind of was putting him on the map. And then White Lion came out. That was his.
Oh yeah, Pride.
And then Extreme, right? That's him. That came out after us. And then Skid Row.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? All those records came out after us. Eh?
Wow.
And the same with Toby Wright. Toby Wright is a legendary engineer. He did everybody out, like Kiss and Whitesnake, you name it, man. He's engineered them all. Working a lot with Ron Nevison and stuff like that. And
yeah, he engineered on Crazy Nights by Kiss, I believe.
that's right. He did Heart. He did just look at his discography here, and you're like, holy God. But he never got a chance to produce. He always wanted to be the producer. He was always the producer's sound guy. The producer's calling the shots. All right, hey man, make the drums do this, and then he'd be all right. But he was itching to produce. So we were the first band that he's got a production credit on.
Isn't
that crazy?
That's cool.
Yeah, and then from us, he went and did Alice in Chains.
Yeah.
And then,
Wow.
kaboom,
Yeah. Well, hey, he got his work done with you guys. Greg, I did some research on the Brighton Rock website. Kudos to whoever does your official website. I mean, it's very well done. I mean, I was on there listening to your music and going through all the stuff on your website. It is so well done. I mean, you guys from 1984 when you started as Heart Attack,
Right.
to 1991, you guys pounded some serious pavement in Canada. Like, I just
And the States too. We did a lot of the States.
yeah, and I was just scrolling down on my computer.
Yeah, man.
Okay, where are they on here for August 4th, 1986? Your first appearance in Thunder Bay. It's the Sleeping Giant.
You play Sleeping Giant?
Oh
Nice.
yeah.
I played there.
We've been to
Wow.
Thunder Bay a lot, man.
The Sleazy G, and then you did later on. You did a week span at the In-Towner. I
The
mean,
In-Towner, right?
Yeah, that's the one I remember. I played there a lot.
that's a parking lot now. So,
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, yeah, I remember there was an Asian guy that ran. I think it was the In-Towner.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Was that the Asian guy that was running?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, when the opening band would be finished, and then we're getting ready to the dressing room scene. I remember was in the back. But anyways, we used to have to cut through instead of like walking through the crowd. We'd cut like through the actual bar, like we're actually serving you.
Yeah.
So there'd be like a pop, and you want to get some Coke or Sprite, and then have water there, right? So I remember the one time I'm standing there with Jerry, and intro tape's on. I'm just gonna grab some water. So I'm going like this, and the Asian guy goes, "You want water? Get your water over there! Don't you get water? Get your water over there!" Right? So from then on this is back from when you're talking about back in the 80s to this day, when everybody goes, "Hey, you guys want water? You want water?" And to this day, it still stuck all the way back.
Oh, that's funny.
Rehearsing at Mark's basement. "Hey, you guys, anybody want some water? You want water? Do it." Yeah, but we had a lot of good times in Thunder Bay, man. They know how to rock up there for sure.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I mean, I just couldn't believe the amount of miles that you guys did. I mean, it's crazy. And then I seen your dates into the States where you did shows with Joan Jett.
Did a tour with her, yeah.
Yeah.
wow.
And obviously, you guys did some Canadian stuff with like Haywire and Honeymoon Suite, and I think you did the last show, Kingswood with Triumph when Rick.
Triumph's last show ever, yeah. We
Oh,
toured with
wow.
Triumph, and then they came back and did that last show. We opened for that show too, yeah, man.
Yeah. So I just couldn't believe the amount of driving you guys did in this country, man. Kudos.
Well,
to
you could do that back then,
Yeah.
You could literally play 6 nights a week. Sundays didn't have, but 6 nights a week and a matinee on top of that. So you're going to be playing 7 times a week, And I noticed when we did tour the States, they didn't, for some reason, they didn't have the bars like that. Like we would, in Canada, we would have what you call a front end, Monday to Wednesday. Yeah. We're going to do the front end here, and then you're going to do the back end, which is Thursday, Friday, Saturday, somewhere else, right? Well, clubs in the States, they didn't have front ends. They just never did. All the entertainment was Fridays and Saturdays. So a lot of these bands down there, they would lucky if they get a gig a month or something, 1 or 2 gigs. Meanwhile, we're playing every single night, right? Every single night. So we go down there, we're tight. We're so tight, man. We could be in a coma and just still play those songs tight as hell. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We had them down. And so we'd have these opening bands. You'd see these guys like, holy cow, these guys, like, you're intimidated because they look like rock stars, just their day clothes. They look like rock stars. Like, man, better step our game up tonight, guys. Look at these guys. And all of a sudden, all the roadies, right? And they go on stage and they're immense. It's like these guys are sloppy. Like every one of them. It's like, yeah. So that, like you said, it paid off for us big time. All that. All those dates, and that helped us get a record deal too. You got to be able to, when you do get your shot, they come in, comes and watch you. You better have it together, man, because they're not going to come a second time.
Can I ask you a question about that?
Yeah.
I read about bands getting signed, Canadian bands. I was a subscriber to Music Express magazine, and they would have a lot of Canadian write-ups about all Canadian bands. I always wanted to know, Warner Brothers has signed so-and-so and signed so. How does that whole process, back then, how did it work? Like,
well, rec companies like the big ones like that back then is demos, right? Everybody's got to record a demo, and they just get tons and tons of demos, right? Every day, boxes and promo headshots, whatever, right? And it's a lot of it's word of mouth, and if you find out where the big clubs are, okay, well, who's the bands that are filling the place up here? Oh, you got this band here, you got this band here. Every time they come here, you know, and they're doing all originals and they're packing the place. So the word gets around. If you can, you know, deliver the goods, you're going to get looked at. So, you know, but what we did with Brighton Rock, we made sure we had our songs together before we did one live day, where the traditional thing is to get a band together, go on the road, play covers, and then start working on originals, right? And we did the opposite. We had our record almost ready to go, and then we started doing dates. We started doing covers, right? So we'd be able to play our songs live. So you had to do 3 sets back then, or 2 sets, whatever. So we would just kind of slide our originals in. So then, you know, when we got on the Q107 homegrown contest, which is a vinyl compilation we got on there, that took notice too. So then when we finally did get a record company guy come down, Bob Roper, he was aware of us, and you know, and he came to see us on a night where there was a snowstorm, and the place was almost empty. And
Wow.
we were going to get canceled. It's like, oh no! And then sure enough, he walks in. Oh my God, he's here. You know, we look around, the place is almost empty. It's like, oh no, right? But we went up there and delivered the goods, man, and we got a record deal.
That's awesome. I always wondered how all that back channel stuff worked. I always just
It's different for everybody.
Yeah.
It's different, you know, usually there's a buzz. Any band that gets signed, there's a buzz. Or you got to have somebody within, you know, that knows somebody that knows somebody.
Yeah,
that
the inner workings.
Right. Go here, man. You know, you can hand the tape to the A&R guy. Hey, man, trust me. Listen to this one here. Forget this other stuff. And the guy will listen to it. But, you know, it's hard to get. It's, you know. You get
So
a
this
crappy demo. You
year,
can be a killer band, but you have a crappy demo and a, you know, okay promo shot. The record company's not even looks like right? And then that's it. You're done.
yeah.
Yeah, you only got one shot to make a good impression.
Absolutely.
So if you give a mediocre impression, that's as good as it's going to get.
You know, that's why you see all, like, a lot of these bands, like, they're people, oh, you know, I better play for free or whatever. It's like, hey, man, if you're an original band, trust me, get as much stage experience as you can.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just your songs. You got to be able to entertain a crowd, man.
And it's the inner workings on stage. The more you're on stage together, the more you read each other's body language, where you don't even have to look. You know that something's happening over there, and we don't have to look around and go, is he taking a solo? Yeah, we know he's taking a solo.
Yeah.
Clearly, when he kicked that bottle across the floor, we knew what we were doing, you know? So,
Yeah, that's awesome.
so this thing here, is this what you got signed with? Are these the tunes that you got signed with?
That helped. We put that out just for like extra merch.
Okay.
That definitely helped. I mean, they're aware of that. You know, that's part of the reason why they came to see us. You know, like there's a buzz with the band. Okay, let's go check them out. You know, and the guy that signed us is the same guy who signed Honeymoon Suite. Like, we were the first pretty much hard rock band to get signed in, like, on a major label in Canada. If you think about it.
Yeah.
But other than that, maybe Kick-Axe. They were way before us. But, like, you know, like even Coney Hatch were an Anthem. They weren't like really a major label. But they were signed in the States. So, you know. You
guys were signed before Killer Dwarfs.
No, they were before us.
Oh, were they?
Oh yeah.
I thought you guys were before them.
No, they're way older than us. Especially that Russ Dwarf, man. Russ, you are an old guy, man.
He's young. You're old.
I'm old.
Oh man, so Deke, no, we're better forget about getting Russ on the show.
We're old buddies. Jerry Finn, the guitar player, we used to be roommates there for a bit, so we're old drinking buddies.
That's awesome.
Love those guys.
Yeah, that's the other thing too. You gotta hand it to Canadian bands like Brighton Rock, Honeymoon Suite, Helix. There's only one incarnation of these bands. It's not like in the States where I'm not going to name drop bands, but they have like 2 incarnations, 3 incarnations,
right?
Bands touring, and it gets so watered, and it just dilutes the past of what they built stuff on. Like, I couldn't imagine, you know, saying Greg Fraser of Brighton Rock, blah blah blah. You know what I mean? Like, that's the one thing I said to you yesterday, Greg. Like, you guys, Brighton Rock, were a band of brothers. I mean, basically the same lineup from 1985 to now. I mean, that says something. It wasn't like somebody went off and plugged the voice of or the guitar of. Like, if you guys And
There was never a half-assed lineup.
Yeah, you know what? And that's kudos to that's the Canadian way of doing it, man. So
Or a lineup you had to relearn about because there's a new guy there, a new guy there, a new guy there. Always somebody different, right?
Well, a big part of it's finding the right guys, man. I mean, are you in it for a little bit, or are you in it for the long haul? That's what you got to ask yourself.
I'm in it for the long haul.
And you even brought.
Here.
And that's the thing, you know. It's like when you've seen how many dates we did. So like we're literally with each other every day, 24 hours a day.
Oh, yeah.
You get on the stage, you're in the van, you're in the hotel, you're in the record. You're literally together all the time, man. So you better be able to get along with each other.
You better like each other.
You
That's
know,
for
because
sure.
that's what happens. All of a sudden, you want to stab this guy. Like the littlest things that annoy you, all of a sudden become bigger, bigger, bigger. That little things now it's like, oh my God, if he does that one more time, you know. And we were never like that. But you got to remember, Jerry was our second singer, Mark was our third drummer, John was our third keyboard player before we got Heart Attack really going.
Oh, okay.
To find the right guys.
Yeah. And that's the thing.
I said I was in it for the long haul, Greg. I feel like I'm getting out already.
If you're the first drummer, you have no chance.
Our first time doing an interview with you guys break up on screen. That'll shoot our. But Greg, that's the thing you say about being in a band every day, traveling, I seen on your website that you guys finished Take a Deep Breath, and then 4 days later, you're back on the road.
Oh yeah, and we did crazy stuff. Like even in around the year 2000, we did the live record, and the record company that wanted to do that was from Germany. They want us to do this festival in Germany. We flew out on a Friday, got there early Saturday morning, played Saturday night, and then flew home Sunday.
Wow.
To Germany.
Wow.
That's what I mean. We would do stuff, it's just like the old days, that freaks you up, and we would do that all the time, man.
Yeah. That's what I mean by pounding the pavement. You guys certainly did that. I mean, that blew me away when I seen all those dates. I was like, that's crazy.
It was fun, man. Your early 20s and stuff like that. You could do that stuff. Like now, forget it, man.
Yeah.
I was like, oh.
I do it again.
It was also your job.
I loved it. It was great going on the road.
Yeah.
You were available all the time. It was your job, right?
Is it?
Like Patrick and Brian, did you guys were you guys in any touring bands across Canada or?
Yeah.
Well, I had Surface Tension before this. Well, a long time ago, 90s too. Never signed a deal, but we toured from Montreal to Victoria.
Okay,
cool. All over, months and months and months on the road. It was great. I loved it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. Brian?
I did a lot of stuff. I did a lot of stuff. What's that?
Chippendales.
Yeah.
I think it was Chippewa.
I was a towel boy. I had some early stuff. I had a little teen band called Quest that did quite well, and we got shipped across Canada. We were only like 12, 13 years old at that time, so that was my first run out with that.
You know them now as mini pops.
My father is also in the entertainment industry, and
famous comedian is that.
And so they toured 24/7. My dad was only home really maybe 4 weeks of the year.
Wow.
The rest of it he was touring. So whenever I was out of school, I would be on the road with him. And then I got into bands, went out on tour with Gatto as an engineer. A lot of the bands that I played in, we would do dates. It wouldn't be massive touring, but we would get out west and back in a matter of 3 weeks, and that would be what I would call a long haul.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've always been, like Greg was just saying, some crazy dates. One of the crazy dates I remember, we did a show in Toronto, packed up at the end of the night on Saturday, got on the bus, drove to Florida, and opened the show on Monday.
Wow.
Yeah. Just go. No, we drove.
You drove to Florida?
Drove to Florida.
Wow.
Nonstop. Yeah.
It's like the Can't Wait for the Night video that we were talking about earlier. We finished filming that. I think it was like 11 o'clock at night. This in Toronto, and we got on our tour bus and literally drove to Savannah, Georgia, and then within 5-6 hours we were on stage in front of 10,000 people. They had a St. Patrick's Day festival. St. Patty's Day, I guess. It's the second largest in the world. New York's first. You figure it'd be Ireland, but no, it's New York, and then in Savannah, Georgia, and it was nuts, man. Like the whole, like it was right by the water. All the bars, like they cut the streets off, so you can just walk into a bar, grab a beer, and walk out of the bar, walk into another bar with the beer there, and just it's just total. Everybody's like, yeah, we're like, oh my god, this is unbelievable, man. You know, and those are the drives, you know. They hop back in the bus and wherever. What city are you again, man?
I guess it helped. I guess it helped when you got on a bus and not in a station wagon to do those kind of drives, eh?
Well, that was just for the States.
I did it in a cargo van.
Yeah. Just for America is the only time we ever had tour buses. But every time we were in Canada, we'd either fly, but most of it was always just vans and station wagons and stuff like that. Yeah,
Oh, no, hey.
Or a cube van.
you want to save the money.
We had a school bus.
You had a school bus. I
Yeah, we
remember
had a
that.
school bus. I renovated into an RV. It was great. That's $3,000 ever spent.
Jesus, funny.
Man, that's awesome. So you guys now, like, sorry, we're kind of bouncing around, but
That's fine. Man. We're just having a conversation, man.
that's good. Stormforce, your label is based in Germany. Am I right with that?
UK.
UK. So how did all that? Did you talked about your days in Brighton of shipping or demos and this and that, passing it around word of mouth. How did you guys go about getting a record deal with a UK company?
Yeah,
They're just a label that I heard, from different people that I know in the business when I was thinking about, trying to go for a deal, and just sent him the songs. He was aware of my background, so which made him want to either listen, but he liked what he heard. And
again, it's the presentation, right?
That's right.
There you go, bang, and the background certainly helps.
Yeah, it certainly does, but you got to earn that though, right? But yeah, man, you gotta have the songs, and he loved what he heard, and we talked the same language musically, and we just loved what they could do, and they put us on the map. That's all you heard of us. And a lot of people you were saying from Sweden, whatever. That's how they heard, because he's pretty well known.
Yeah, he's got his fingers in a lot of things, like all the magazines that he's tied to. Every time he's got releases, he's already got his network of people just waiting, same as he's waiting for bands to come in. He's waiting for the next thing that he wants to push. And then when he's ready to push it, it's like out to everything that he's got networked as well, which is just like the amount of work that you would have to do to get out to the people like he did in a matter of a button push.
That's right.
Incredible.
When he said his name is Khalil, and it's Escape Music. That's who the record company is.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. No, that's
to answer your question, just a matter of sending them the songs, and no matter who you are, if your songs don't cut it, they're not gonna do nothing with you. No matter how big you used to be,
Yeah, so that was basically, you just sent your stuff straight in, you didn't send it everywhere. You just kind of focused on one company and just went from there, or?
Well, it's we.
Go ahead, tell the story. Tell the truth.
We wanted to finish our record, get at least 10 songs done, and then shop it to labels. But what happened? We got about 5 or 6 in, and make a long story short, one song got kind of sent out, and we got offered a deal. So then I started sniffing around from other people in the business. Hey, what do you think about this label here? They just offered us a deal. I'm like, I don't know, man. How are you? Check out this label and this label, right? And it's like, all right, we'll just put a song out just for see what happens. Send them a song, and we got offered 2 more record deals. So we had 3 record deals offered. Yeah. And we only had 5-6 songs done, right? And
no pressure, guys.
No.
Yeah, but they're not big labels. And like I said, some of the guys are going, I'd stay, but most of the guys are always going back to Escape Music. It's like, I check Escape, and Khalil's honest. He's, and that's what I want to hear. And everything's worked out for us, man. I just wish we can go play and promote it properly, So.
And this is my second go with Khalil.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was signed with Panic with Khalil with Escape Music. And so I already had a previous relationship with him, which was fantastic. And then when Greg finally brought this to the table, I went, there we go. I have a relationship with him, and it was, nothing bad there. It was great, and he's done us well.
That's awesome. Yeah,
we got a viewer question here from John Snow, no relation. Will there be more Storm Force music in the future? You guys kind of touched on that earlier, but maybe you can talk to John and reassure him that we will be hearing some more Storm Force in the future.
Absolutely. We're
100%.
going to be punk country next.
Perfect. Perfect.
We're right in the middle of another single right now. It's almost 3/4 done.
So I get off my ass, right?
We're waiting for a vocal track to
A
get
single?
A real one.
Yeah, we've got one. We've got the song is demoed from front to back, and I've been doing some mixing tests and stuff. It's sounding great. It's without no disappointment again. I guarantee you it'll hold up with everything that you've heard on the Age of Fear album. And,
So when you say a single,
so it's in the works, but COVID has slowed things down. We're having a hard time getting together in the studio
Right.
to make noise, and so that's been a little bit of a problem. But it is coming. There is some new stuff coming quick.
cool.
Well, basically, in the last week, it's the first time we've been
In a room.
together since March.
Yeah.
Like we were rehearsing literally the week of for a show we're going to do.
Yeah.
And I said, hey man, I can't make rehearsal today. Well, the COVID. Yeah, okay. And then
I kind of threw the dart.
yeah. And then next thing you know, the whole world. And that's how long ago was that, man?
March 14th.
Yeah.
I remember because it's funny. Brian had canceled the first. I don't know about this COVID thing. I don't want to. And we're like, at first, because I obviously
Suck it up.
being one of those people that just took it too. I took it too lightly. I'm like, come on. But I'm like, well, maybe it's big. And then it fucking blew up. And then, holy shit.
It was only because I got sent home from the casino. They said, okay, you're laid off. What do you mean I'm laid off? This is the casino. We do 250, 230 shows a year to nothing, zero. You're out of work.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so it was like that was a bit of a panic button for me to just kind of go, what? Wait a second. This is probably more serious than we thought.
Yep.
And we had a rehearsal scheduled, and I got home from work, and I just called the guys and went, I don't know if this is such a good idea. I think something shit's going wrong here.
Yeah.
Maybe we should just lay back and kind of see what happens, and maybe next week. And by then,
Yeah. Everything was shut down.
yeah. And it sucks because we had to reschedule a show twice.
Yeah.
And it looks like it's going to be third.
Yeah.
You guys got the Dirty Vegas video done.
Yeah.
That was just getting squeaked in just before everything went sideways.
Speaking of which, we're in the process of doing another video for the song "Breathe." An exclusive there. We're hoping to do it within the next few weeks.
Yeah. We got
Excellent.
a site inspection tomorrow on the location that we're going to be shooting.
Okay.
So we're going to go and check all that out, put all the ducks in a row, and hopefully in the next 3 weeks it'll be shot.
Nice.
And then
Released.
it won't be far after that. The editing will go pretty darn quick, and then we'll have hopefully before Halloween, or I'm going to say Christmas. How about that? Before Christmas,
No.
just to be on the safe side.
Yeah.
I think
Halloween.
Halloween
I'm
would
going
be-
Halloween.
Yeah.
Be good release for Halloween, actually.
Well, Halloween might be postponed to Christmas, so who knows? Anything can happen between now and Halloween.
But Breeze's a great track. I mean,
Yeah.
throw down some kudos to Serena.
Yeah.
Yeah, she knocked that one out of the park.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's you know what your voices, Pat. They just meshed so
For sure.
on that tune. I mean,
Especially when they do the harmonies, It's
Yeah.
awesome.
And when you originally did the track, it was just me, and then Greg said, "What about getting Serena in here to do it?" And I'm like, "I love her voice, so I got no objection there." But it actually, I like the way the song lends itself to a duo. It sounds like a duet, like a hard rock duet. And her voice just crushes in it.
the first time I heard it, I was like, I got to get a hold of Ladano. I know he'll have the physical copy because I need he's on these credits, man. It's like I just have iTunes, so there's no
Right.
Yeah. I will only buy physical CDs at this point, so I opted for the autographed version. But I will say this: Deke bought his copy on iTunes, right? And the first thing that I noticed is he had this extra song called "Weight of the World."
Yeah.
And I read somewhere that it's on the Japanese version of the CD, but I have never been able to locate a Japanese copy of the CD.
Either way. Actually,
Yeah.
I think they sent a link to
Yeah,
you.
you sent the link. Yeah.
I thought we're getting them.
Well, no, you got
No.
they're there if you want to buy one.
Right. That's funny actually, because it was only supposed to be in the Japanese release, which it is CD wise, but even streaming wise, it was only supposed to be on the Japanese iTunes.
Right.
But it just ended up, it was just a miscommunication and edit, which is great. Everybody gets the extra track.
I
Get
scored.
the extra royalty.
That's right.
I was kind of surprised it was such a great track. I'm like, this could have been easily within the album.
I know Mike.
It was a tough one to cut, man. It's
It
like,
was.
you know, but if you listen to the record, which one would you take out? You know?
Yeah, well, yeah. I don't know.
Different for everybody.
You
Yeah,
can
yeah, of course.
you can shake your head at that, but
He's
you
got
got Greg had a hard job. You know, we cut at least 11 songs off of what was recorded.
Wow.
So yeah, like I mean, there's still 11 songs finished and in the can that's just sitting on a shelf that just didn't make it. They're great songs. They just didn't make it yet.
And I guess since your next album is going to be that punk country blues thing that we talked about,
Country.
I guess they'll never get released really at this point. The new direction won't fit.
We don't like to just, stand on our laurels. We're going to change the album every time.
Patrick's trading in his AC/DC hat for a cowboy hat on the next album.
That's right.
Well, that's the great thing about Weight of the World. I remember mentioning that to Mike, and then 2 seconds later, he sent me back a message. What's Weight of the World, dude?
Yeah, I'm like, this isn't on the CD, man. What are you sending me here?
I just sent him back one word: score.
Yeah, because I'm the kind of guy, he wants to get all the songs, and with Brighton Rock, I've got this. We talked about Hanging High and Dry. I got this 12-inch single with 4 different versions of Hanging High and Dry on it. Had to have it. Got to have, quote unquote, all the songs. So
I've never seen it.
Greg's like, Greg, what is that? I never heard of that.
it's a promo, but it's got the single remix, the single edit, the album version, and the video mix of Hanging High and Dry.
That's for radio.
Yeah.
That's cool.
But if you remember the music video, it had a slightly different version of the track. Oh, we have a scoop here from Jon Snow again. Apparently eBay's got the Japanese version of Storm Force.
Yeah.
So I will be checking that out when we're done here and seeing.
It's really hard to read, Mike.
I apologize. I will.
Bunch of scribbling. It's really hard to read.
But I will. I will see how much that's going to set me back, a Japanese copy of that album, because I got to have a physical copy of Weight of the World. That's just how the collector in me works.
I like it.
Do you guys?
Apparently, I haven't seen for myself. The booklet itself is supposed to be like Japanese.
It's all written in Japanese. I've seen it.
Oh my god! Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to see that.
Well, I mean, I've got. You can't really see behind me. I've got 1 million CDs behind me, and a good chunk of them are Japanese imports because of all the bonus tracks they get over there. So, they usually stick in a second booklet, a little white plain booklet with all the lyrics translated into Japanese characters.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
But if and when I acquire this thing, I'll be happy to share images with you guys.
That'd be great. All right.
We should probably just get it. I'm going to get it.
Well, don't outbid. We're not going to get in a bidding war here, Patrick.
No. I'll let you get the first one. And then
Okay.
see if there's another one.
Well, that's the thing too. Like even I remember any of you guys have Cheap Trick, the Budokan on vinyl.
Of course. Absolutely.
The book that came with it had all the Japanese writing along with the
Oh, that's right.
English tune. So yeah, I guess that's pre-CD Japan, but
That's right.
still the same. I guess that was just their vibe of doing it back then. So yeah, cool stuff.
Well, even Kiss Hotter Than Hell had the Japanese characters on it too.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
But you know what, guys? Thanks so much for doing this, Phrase. Thanks for reaching out.
Yeah.
Our pleasure, man. Thank you.
Willing to come
Thank
on.
you.
Nice finally talking to you guys in person. Nice meeting you as well, Brian.
Yeah. Big surprise here.
Maybe next time.
I heard there was free beer here. That's why hey, come on over and have a beer.
Yeah, maybe next time. When the next
All right, man. So it's our pleasure.
There you
Thanks
go.
for the-
Hey, this is Bud Light.
Cheers.
Oh.
Hey, when the next Storm Force album comes out, you guys got to give us a shot at doing this again, if you don't mind.
Absolutely.
Or when that single that you mentioned drops.
Sure thing.
Yeah.
Anytime, Fraser, Patrick, Brian.
All right, brothers.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for having
Thank you so much.
Okay, man.
Stay safe, guys.
You take care.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Ciao. That was funny, Deke.
Yeah, that was fun, man.
Oh, man.
I'm going to throw these up on eBay.
Yeah. I am just going to go ahead and paste the link here if anybody else wants to join before we call it a night. But, hey, that was we got some good information out of these guys today, didn't we?
Well, considering it was our first crack at actually interviewing a band. And,
Yeah.
You know, I think we went okay.
A band that wasn't like My Sister or the Jeff Stephen 5.
Or T-Bone and the beer drinker, you know? Or sorry.
I believe his band is called T-Bone and the Paper Plates.
Yeah, that's right. Actually, he has a nickname for when we get our little stream going together, and you'll love his nickname, man. I howled when he said
Should we drop the scoop on that?
Sure.
Okay, so Deke has a semi announcement to make.
Okay, so anyways, me and T-Bone, basically I know me and Mike have our thing going here, but I thought it'd be fun to start something a little different, and we're calling it, me and T-Bone, Thunder Bay Bay City Rock and Rollers. And basically what it is me and T-Bone are going to do short little stream episodes every week or two. They're going to be an average time of 36 minutes. We're going to get a clock, and as soon as the buzzer goes, we're ending the conversation. And if anybody wants to know why it was 36 minutes, it's because that's the average length of the first 6 Van Halen albums with Roth. So,
Brilliant concept.
Yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to get people. Hopefully, I'm going to reach out to a few people. I already got a couple of people lined up that I've known for years. They were going to talk about our shows that came to Thunder Bay, the tours that we had to go see so many shows out of Thunder Bay. We're going to talk about some of those road trips. There's some classic stories there. I was telling Kevin a few, and he says I need to post them. So I think I'll save them for the stream. But yeah, it's just going to be fun. We're going to have guys like, obviously, like Mikey as a guest host. Watch it, Dar. We're going to get you on here, and then we're going to get, my buddy Muck, and I reached out to another guy.
Muck.
Yeah, we're going to get him on here, and we're going to get Dar. We're going to get you on here. We're going to get guys like the Snowman. We're going to get, we might even get an inebriated rug on here, which would probably just totally blow up the views. But
well, as long as you promise to still participate in some list shows.
Oh yeah, for sure. But it was just something I was thinking of. I could really slant a Thunder Bay angle on it.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's featured a lot in my reviews. I mean, I had to go everywhere to see bands. Nothing came to Thunder Bay unless it was Canadian. And when American bands did come here, like Ted Nugent in the early to mid 80s, that was after his 70s heyday. Now it's all nostalgia, so all these bands will come here. Like,
don't say that, Deke. You'll get somebody flaming you on Sleaze Rocks tomorrow.
Yeah, that's right. How dare you say Ted's old?
You should send this link to Olivier and see if there's anything in here that he's interested in posting on Sleaze Rocks, and then we can, read the hate mail next week.
I told him about it, and I know he's been following the stuff we posted on Facebook about tonight's show. But
one thing I wanted to bring up, I forgot to ask the guys, and understandable since the conversation was so freeform, but I noticed Mike Brandvold from Three Sides of the Coin's been he's been a Storm Force booster.
Yeah.
In a big way, and I'm just kind of curious how they hooked up with Mike Brandvold. But he's a huge Brighton Rock Storm Force fan.
Yeah. So they're great guys. I mean, Fraser, I reached out to him a few years ago, and he didn't know me from anything, and he got back to me and he said, yeah, man, fire away. And that's basically the same thing he said to me when he reached out yesterday. I said, you guys were a band of brothers, and if you don't want to go with the Brighton Rock angle, they're totally cool. And he said, absolutely not, just fire away. So I thought, wow, right on. That's why I got a hold of you right away, dude.
Yeah. When you called the other day, I was in the hallway at work, and I hear my phone ringing. I'm like, but that's the Facebook ring. Nobody calls me on Facebook except for Uncle Meat. And then I look, and it's you. And you're like, Greg Fraser's available tomorrow. And I'm like, holy, oh crap. I got to talk to Rob Daniels right away.
Yeah.
So thanks again to Rob for stepping aside this week. We'll do our soundtrack show in the very, very near future.
It just goes to show you what a great guy is. I mean, he could have just ignored me the first time I sent him a message on Messenger.
Yeah, like I wasn't gonna bug him this week, not after Jerry had passed away. Like, just give the guy some space, and if he doesn't want to talk, he doesn't want to talk.
Yeah, so just shows you the kind of stand-up guy is. Like all three guys. It was cool to talk to Brian too. And
what a surprise!
It was awesome.
When you said I got a question for all three of you guys, I was like, how the heck did you? How?
Well, you know what? I had my cheat sheets here.
Yeah.
When I went with that Van Halen question, I had right underneath it, ask Pat, and then it just went from there, right? So it was an easy segue.
I think I'm needed in the kitchen.
It's been a slice, brother.
It has been a slice. I'm sorry to have to cut you off there, but I think I'm required in the kitchen. All
right, pal.
Well, success. That was not bad for our very first rock band guest shot here.
Yeah, we're looking.
I hesitate to call it an interview. It really was just a chat.
It was kind of neat. I mean, I was surprised. Like, we kind of went reverse in the Brighton Rock. We went from Love Machine to Take a Deep Breath.
We went all over. Well, we went all over.
Yeah, so all good. I guess it's free flow.
Yeah. All right, man. I gotta fly.
Okay, man.
See you, everybody. Ciao.